Joining me now is Dr. Matthew Bunson, an EWTN senior contributor and senior editor at the National Catholic Register. Matthew, welcome back to the program.
Good to be with you.
So yesterday, the U.S. bishops laid out their plan to tackle this crisis. Any plan will have to adhere to church law. With that in mind, shouldn't the Vatican be taking the lead on trying to solve this problem?
Absolutely. This is profoundly essential to deal with this crisis, and we could see that in both of these statements that came out just within a few hours of each other yesterday. We had the statement from the Holy See, and then we had the statement from Cardinal DiNardo regarding the actions of the USCCB, inviting the Holy See to launch an investigation. When we look at the Holy See statement, while some are criticizing it, one of the things that you can really see in this is this one line where it talks about holding accountable the abusers and those who permitted the abuse to happen. That is a clear reference to the bishops. The Holy See is going to have to investigate this, and that is likely to take the form of what's called an apostolic visitation or a Vatican investigation here in the United States, which is virtually unprecedented.
It sounds like that could be coming now. That did happen in Chile, investigation into the sex abuse among the clergy. All the Chilean bishops offered their resignations after that investigation. The Pope accepted a few of those. Could that happen in the United States? It sounds like it could.
It very well likely will happen. What we saw from the very start of the McCarrick scandal was the inevitable movement toward this kind of a visitation. What's that going to look like? Well, we don't have all of the details. Those are going to be worked out in the coming weeks, I expect. But the name that will likely surface is Archbishop Charles Scicluna, currently in Malta, but he was for many years the key point man in the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith in handling these sex abuse cases under Joseph Ratzinger, under Pope Benedict XVI. He is the one who went to Chile. It was on the basis of his report, his massive 1,300-plus page report, that Pope Francis summoned the bishops of Chile to Rome. We'll have to see if it has such similarly dramatic results here in the United States.
Catholics in the United States want to see real change. If it doesn't come, will they start to leave the church?
The great risk here is that the moral credibility of the bishops has been severely damaged in the United States. We were promised certain things in 2002, that these cases were going to be handled properly. Now we're discovering, as this grand jury report indicated in very stark relief, that the bishops have failed us. And many of the bishops have failed us. Now the question is, how do they restore that credibility? And that's why I think we're seeing this movement toward the Holy See.
We heard Cardinal Raymond Burke, he called it the greatest crisis in American Catholic history. Do you agree with that assessment?
I have to agree fully. Cardinal Burke, I think, understands very well the dimensions of this crisis as a moral crisis, as an institutional crisis. What we're seeing as well is the need for not just institutional reform, but profound spiritual reform. And he's touched on that as a key element in any sort of ongoing serious reform that we can have. The bishops, I think, are beginning to understand that as well. As we move forward, though, as we have throughout all of church history, the Pope has to lead the way. Pope Francis is going to have to take.
And he hasn't said anything just yet.
Well, we have the statement from last night. We have his.
Do you expect him to come out and speak more, say, at the World Meeting of Families, do you think?
We hope so. I mean, clearly the sex abuse crisis is now a global phenomenon that we're going to have to deal with and going into the future. For American Catholics, results now are absolutely essential. The bishops, again, understand that. Their credibility is at stake, but so, too, is the credibility of Catholicism in America as a voice in culture, exactly at a time when, because of secularism, because of the culture of death, that voice needs to be heard now more than ever, and we have to have the credibility to speak publicly.
Dr. Matthew Bunson, EWTN senior contributor and senior editor at the National Catholic Register. Thanks for being here with us.
Good to be with you.
Stay with EWTN for comprehensive coverage here on EWTN News Nightly, the Catholic News Agency, and the National Catholic Register.